Hello, quick open talk. Right now it's 10:06 a.m. in the morning. So last night, wow, as soon as I start the video, they're trying to make me cough and make my nose itch. So, excuse me. Sorry. So last night, when I got on the bus, when I get on the bus, I usually sanitize and spray the seat down before I sit on it. And so they had a black man, excuse me, he stretched his legs out and was hogging up all three front seats on the bus on the right side. So, like, if you put your feet in the seats and they're dirty, well, that's the reason why I sanitize, and spray the seat down and then sit down, So then he looked at me like I was crazy and like he wanted some trouble. And then he tried to ask me, like, as if I'm crazy, I've been spraying the bus every time. Spray the seat down and then sit down. And so far, really, nobody said anything. The bus drivers don't say anything. The passengers really don't say anything. I think one time somebody said something, but he tried to make a joke out of it. But this time, he tried to ask me, "Are you all right?" Like as if I'm crazy. And then he tried to get the bus driver to ask, "Is something wrong with me or am I all right?" And I'm like, "What do y'all mean? I just, sanitize the seat." And so the man tried to, he seemed like he was intentionally trying very hard to manipulate the bus driver to think I'm crazy or something's really, really wrong with me, So they have some people who just want trouble out in society and they just want to harass and fuck with you for no reason at all. And so, the other day at the hotel, they had this Hispanic person. I don't know if she looked like she was in between ages 15 and 19. And she deliberately left the refrigerator open. And I was upset because I had some cereal and milk and the milk wasn't even cold. And I'm like, well, this is why the milk ain't cold, because you sit there and she looked like she was too old to be playing in the refrigerator and leaving the door open for over 10 minutes. And then she had that Masonic dyed red hair, and then she had like a 10-year-old looking boy right with her. So it's like these grown adults that are gang stalkers, they tell me I'm childish, immature, and need to grow up. But they be doing silly, nonsensical, childish things. So then the ghetto housekeeper kept on looking at me like as if I lost my mind, and also looked at me like she wanted to whip my ass. And then I tried to explain to her what happened, and she got mad and brick wall, like, "Wait a minute, let me," And so then I my feelings were hurt so bad, my eyes filled with tears, and I started to almost cry. And then later on, she came and asked me what I wanted to say, and I told her about the girl leaving the refrigerator door open on purpose and playing in the refrigerator. And then she's like, "Oh, well, thank you for telling me, because people shouldn't be playing in the refrigerator." But everybody tried to make like, "Oh, I'm the crazy one who lost my mind." But, and so then they had a homeless old white man who tried to dress like me, black hoodie and black pants. And then he tried to be stealthy and get some coffee like nobody's business and pretend that he's an actual, guest there, and just, eating food and drinking coffee and like as if he is a legitimate guest and stays there. And then he snuck back outside. And I figured, he was a perp trying to And then he walked by me proudly smiling like as if he had nothing to be ashamed of. You know, walked near me of all people and like just rubbing in my face how, oh, I can come up into any hotel and eat for free. Ha ha ha, you can't do that kind of mentality, you know. So then you go to restaurants and they do stuff like you know, try to make it look like as if they bit off your pie, but they probably took pieces with their fingers, you know, and broke a couple of pieces to try to gaslight. I don't know what they would do. And then have something, you know, on the floor and then pick it up right when they're about to serve you food, and then after they just picked up something from the floor and then try to serve you food. Then try to hand you your food after they just picked up with that same hand, like without washing their hands. And then if you stand up, they'll try to make like you're being a petty complainer or something, and you'll be forced to have to just be quiet. You know, because if you stand up for yourself and say something, then you get wrongfully banned forever from all branches or all locations of the whole corporation for the rest of your life. You know, and so I was very upset in the middle of the night. And I couldn't really sleep that great in the middle of the night. And so it's like people are making my depression worse. They're making me feel worse instead of better. And I'm sick of the narcissistic lectures from all these people talking about that I'm giving the gang stalkers power. How? And I'm trying to fight again. I'm trying to battle and fight and stand up for myself. But back then, y'all would try to tell me I'm easy pushover and easy prey, and that I need to learn how to stand up for myself and stop letting people mess over me. So now I'm standing up for myself, and y'all tell me ignore them and stop giving, and that I'm giving them power. And then, you know, so I'm hypersensitive, and I'm tired of people trying to force me to, they try to force me to have the same tolerance that they have. Just because something bothers you, just because something that does not bother you, you're going to criminalize me because it bothers me. Or you call me childish because it bothers me. Or because if I'm hypersensitive, and then they will want to sadistically try to force me to tolerate and deal with it. It's not just natural triggers. I mean, I have like, and then they want to try to talk about you can't make people stop trying to make people tiptoe around your disability. Or, I mean, like, you're defending and agreeing with the perps, and then, like, I'm just so fucking mad at everything. You know, you're defending and agreeing with the gang stalkers talking about stop trying to make people tiptoe around your disability, or you trying to make people cater to you. And the more that you get mad, the more they're gonna keep doing it, and they have that right. I mean, I've been hearing it from all sides, even in the so-called TI community, that y'all want to sadistically force me to accept being tortured and abused and not fight back, and then the other side is falsely accusing me of being a fake TI with no evidence, or say that, oh, y'all say I look like a fool and look crazy or acting childish for trying to point out the gang stalking tactics. I mean, I'm on the verge, like I'm about to break. Like, I'm getting attacked from the TI community, narcissistic abusers, gang stalkers. I'm getting attacked from every fucking angle when I'm at my lowest. And I do not know how much more I can fucking take. And I'm gonna have to look at the sky, look at the weather, and I gotta be out here in horrible weather for the next 3 days. And y'all be telling people don't help me, and then talk about that I burned my bridges because I put a stop to y'all trying to narcissistically control and manipulate and play all kinds of games and try to force me to tolerate my torture and abuse.